Welcome to my channel, INTJ Island. Today, I'm going to talk about an INTJ approach to weight loss, with both success and failure. Weight loss has two parts. The first is engaging your mind and your will, and the second is applying physical laws. Naturally, nearly the entire challenge is in the first part. The successful journey from being overweight to moving down to your proper weight begins with your commitment to making it happen, by deciding that it is important enough to pursue. Are you content where you are right now, or are you very dissatisfied? Do you care enough about the task you are considering to actually do it? Or is it a nebulous something that you probably should do, but it isn't that important to you? To succeed, you have to be fully on board and committed. To make the commitment, there has to be a belief it is sufficiently important to warrant the effort required. If you are fully committed, you will succeed. If you are not, you won't. If you are not fully committed, at some point you will stop going through the motions and simply give up. The second part is surprisingly simple. You do a bit of research, do some calculations, and then apply that to what you are doing. Here is how I moved into the successful part of weight loss in the year 2001. It actually began in 1997. Our son left home and joined the U.S. Navy. My ESTP wife and our son are very close, and when he moved out, it left a hole in her life. She was a stay-at-home mom, and now part of that home time was vacant. She was in a ladies' bowling league and moved up to be president of the league. She loves a microphone, and she enjoyed making announcements and such. People. She loves people. Well, she had a severe weight problem at that time, and she was 100 pounds overweight. For years, she had battled this issue, but with nothing but frustration to show for it. Then, November of 1997, Dotti went through her closet and tossed out all the clothes that were now way too small, figuring that she would never get back to where she could wear them. Then, in December, a friend recommended that they try out the new Weight Watchers program. Well, something clicked inside Dotti, and I have no idea what. She just decided to commit to doing this new program and making it work. During December of 1997, she cut back on how much she was eating, and she dropped 10 pounds that month before even starting Weight Watchers. Then, in early January, she walked into her first meeting, and she never looked back until she had lost every bit of that 100 pounds. After she lost weight, there are two events that stand out in my memory from that time. The first was when we went shopping at a grocery store, and a cashier refused to take Dotti's driver's license because she was so thin that the picture didn't look like her anymore. I was there to see it, and I smiled and said, "Yes!" I thought that was really cool. The second event was when we drove over to our friend's house for a visit. The last time they saw us was when Dotti was just starting her program. My buddy said, "Al, you didn't tell us you were going to leave your wife behind and you were going to bring your girlfriend instead." The difference was simply amazing. However, I was still skeptical. People lose weight, and it is cool and all that, but then they usually put it back on again. So, I waited to see what would happen. I was amazed by how easily Dotti kept the weight off as time passed by. She was not struggling or suffering, wishing she could eat more. She was not on a diet. She had actually changed her lifestyle to a far healthier one. I had read that the best way to keep from starting to smoke again after you quit is to help others to quit. Helping them to give it up assists your mind in holding on to your own commitment to staying smoke-free. Well, I had quit smoking in May of 1998, the same year that Dotti lost her weight. I knew some HTML, and I suggested that she might help her own motivation by creating a weight loss webpage. I gave her some pointers on how to create a site, and she then shocked me once again by pouring herself into the project and creating a monster webpage. She started it in September of 1998, and today there have been more than 84 million visitors. She called it Dotti's Weight Loss Zone, and the visitors took to calling themselves Zonies. She shortened the URL down to DWLZ.com, and it is still there today. On the weekend of April 20 through 22 in 2001, 49 Zonies gathered in Seattle, Washington for a 3-day event. And here is where my story begins. I wrote some lyrics for a song and I sang it for the group, and I gave a talk as well about how to focus your willpower to get results. We had the talk on video, and when I looked at it afterwards and I saw myself at least 40 pounds overweight talking to this group about weight loss, well, something clicked. Using the Weight Watchers program obviously worked because Dotti had done it, and I found that I wanted to do it as well. I found commitment that day to doing this. Less than 3 weeks later, on May 12, I was all organized and I began. Rather than reinventing the wheel, I decided that if the Weight Watchers system worked for my wife, it would work for me as well. I had a good deal of knowledge about it already. We were given a range of something they called points. 1 point was calculated by a very simple formula that I had used all the time in my head when Dotti and I went shopping, and she wanted to know how many points something was. You simply divided the number of calories by 50, and then you added in the number of grams of fat divided by 12, and finally you subtracted the number of grams of fiber divided by 5. It was easy, it was simple, and it worked. They also had a daily minimum of 18 points you had to eat to keep your body from going into starvation mode and slowing your metabolism down, and to avoid other problems. I was all ready to go. I will put a link in the description to my online journal in case you want to read all the gory details. I had the system in place, and I was fully committed to following it. I wrote every single thing down that I ate or drank, including water. I wrote it down first, and then I consumed it, not the other way around. I never went over my points limit as I was losing weight. I weighed myself every day and logged it on paper and in my online journal. I had no idea what an INTJ was at that time, but I started to get odd comments from others as I went along. One lady emailed me and asked me in disbelief, "Do you really write down everything that you eat?" I replied, "Of course." The question had surprised me. How could I know what I was doing if I didn't document it properly? But it wasn't during the losing period where people really started wondering about what I was doing. It was when I started maintaining my weight exactly where I wanted it after I got down to my target weight. I started getting comments where they called me Mr. Maintenance. As you can see, the weight graphs were rock solid right where I wanted my weight to be, week after week and year after year. Sadly, I did lose my commitment in time, as other areas of life took over my focus. What finished that off was when we were dealing with my mother's Alzheimer's. I found my commitment simply disappeared. Today it looks at me like one of those once beautiful buildings that is now abandoned because the city where it stands hit hard times financially. It is a reminder that, yes, I did it, but I gave it up. It is not a pleasant reminder. I could be doing it right now, but I am not. As I said at the top, the mental part of weight loss is by far the most difficult. The physical side is simple. When my wife lost her 100 pounds, I peppered her with questions trying to find out what had been the magic key to her commitment. She had no idea. Today, she is giving it another go. She has a YouTube channel she calls Dotti's Weight Loss Corner. I will leave a link in the description to it. She has lost 50 pounds this year and is working on getting all the way back down to her goal weight. Who knows? If she gets there, she just might inspire me one more time. Does this generate any thoughts or observations that you would like to share? I would appreciate your input if you'd like to leave a comment. Do you have any successes that you are especially proud of? Do you have any abandoned buildings that are gazing at you with haunting eyes? If you enjoyed the video, please click like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you click on the bell, you will also receive notifications when I put up a new video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.